And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday night here in Colorado Springs. It's the moment you've all been waiting for, the Comcast Race of Champions coming at you from inside the Xfinity Roller Sports Arena at the 2019 American Roller Speed Skating Championships. Chris Johnson alongside Josh Ingram going to bring you all of the action here as the 15 fastest men and women of the American Championships going head-to-head for $10,000 worth of prize money. Josh, a talented field, Team USA members competing here tonight. What do you expect out of the Race of Champions coming up?
I expect it's going to be very competitive. Every single one of these races so far has had great finishes. It's a very, very talented pool, but when it gets down to it, you only have to be 14 to qualify. So there's going to be some youngsters out there. There's going to be some of the veterans out there battling it out. Anybody's entitled to the cash prize money.
And before we get to the Race of Champions, you can see there lining up, it is our parade of teams. So you can enjoy watching that as all of our teams that have competed here this week will be represented. And while they take a well-deserved ceremonial lap out here, we're going to break down the field in the Race of Champions, starting with the women. Josh, you know, the women, there's a lot of young talent there, but it really begins and ends with Jasmine Foster and Kelsey Hellman, two members of Team USA. They went 1-2 last year. Any reason to think they won't do it again?
No, not this year. They've showed their consistency. They showed they came back here to compete and win again. And I haven't seen anybody thus far that's really going to be able to knock them off, but those two girls know what they're doing. But then again, it's speed skating. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, a crash could change things up at any point. Joining Hellman and Foster in the field of 15, Sierra Golden, Kaylee Repke, Jalen Godin, Gabriela Cardona Castro, Kayla Duke, Andy Wincoop, Kenna Pfeiffer, Ashley Hacker, Michaela Rinnick along with Kayla Duke, also Team USA members, so a couple more international stars there. And rounding out the field, Anissa Beatty, Elizabeth Martinko, Shannon Dagenhart, and Brooke Cianciola. Josh, you mentioned the youngsters. I'd like to point out Elizabeth Martinko. She was dominant in the 30 and above division. I think she hasn't shown us all she's got. And a wily veteran, Martinko, I think she could make some noise here tonight.
She can definitely make some noise. She has that distance, the distance capability to make a push to the two top skaters, but at the same time, when it comes to distances, you never know what's going to happen. And, you know, Kayla Ropke has been impressive as well. She's one of those that is kind of a veteran, that she's got some speed to her too and could make a little push in some of those short track races.
As we see there, some members of Fast Forward Racing out of Hagerstown, Maryland in our parade of teams. That, of course, is the team of Foster and Hellman. Turning our attention to the men now, another absolutely stacked field. 3 Team USA members, Zach Stoppelmore, also from that Fast Forward team, Jonathan Blair from Precision Racing, and Justin Stelly of Team Illini. Who's your pick out of those 3?
As of right now, you got to go with Justin Stelly. He's proved that he's had the fastest lap times in any race, whether it's distance or sprint, and he loves the way the floor's been coated. He says this is the fastest he's felt in a long time out on the floor, and he feels really, really confident. So he's definitely going to be my number 1 favorite going into it. And as far as the youngsters go, you never know who's going to really be able to give him a quality push. So we'll see how it all plays out, but I feel like Justin Stelly is definitely the favorite to walk away with the 2,500.
So besides our Team USA members, we have Aiden Saylor, Colton Miller, Aaron Geddes, Michael Ruiz, David Meyer, Skylar Alton, Sonny Wright, Mason Liebhaber, Trey Tinsley, Eddie Wilcox, Trey Jones, and rounding out the field, Big Nick Hoffman. I tell you who's impressed me so far this week is Aiden Saylor out of Wisconsin, and David Wire-to-Wire Meyer of Team Illini. He's a youngster, but he's a big kid, and he's got some speed.
I was going to bring up Meyer's name, and he does. He doesn't look like your typical 17, 18-year-old kid. I mean, he has a grown man body, he has grown man speed, and he's one of those that he's been very, very impressive. Just the way he skates, he doesn't get tired, he pushes the limits, and if he gets out to a lead, he tries to push that pack as fast as he can. He treats every single race like a dead sprint.
One of the things you have to say the youngsters have going for them in a situation like this, racing against world-class talent, is they just don't know.
And they
right? A
no
15
fear.
to 16-year-old, he's not scared. He doesn't know what it means to be on Team USA. He just knows he wants to go skate fast and let the chips fall where they may.
And, you know, being a little underdog and being able to put some pressure on some of these older guys, they can thrive on that no-pressure situation. They don't have to feel the pressure like they're expected to win. They're just expected to compete And that's really all they want to do right now. And if they get a chance to get up on that podium and win a couple bucks at the same time, that's their goal right now.
Yeah, the prize money here can go a long way to funding training as a stepping stone towards those bigger international meets and Team USA ambitions. So the format tonight going to be very cool, very fast. We've got 3 heats, both men and women, for the 3-lap sprint. So 3 heats of the 3-lap sprint. The top 2 finishers are going to advance. So there's no qualifying on time. You just got pure racing. You got to do what has to be done to beat the person next to you and get to the line first. After that, we'll move on to the 10-lap heats. Going to have 2 heats for each division in that, and their time does matter, as the winner of each heat will qualify automatically. And then the next 6 top times overall, as you see, a packed house here inside the Xfinity Roller Sports Arena as our official timing folks are getting things ready to go. And there is Mr. Rogers, the voice of inline skating in America, Inline Talk with Mr. Rogers. So Mr. Rogers in the house, doing a good job. He does a great job promoting the sport.
He does. He cares. He has a lot of passion for it. And everybody seems to really like to be a part of his podcast and his blogs and things like that. And then you got the man Steve Early over there. And those guys make a funny, good vibe duo to call these American championships. You know, they've been kind of cooped up over in that what would be a penalty box area for about 3 days straight, 13 hours a day, just commentating and bringing a good vibe. You know, they're out here doing some prizes and some games and getting the crowd pumped up. And you're right, Chris, we got a great crowd here at the Xfinity Sports Arena. It looks like it's going to be a packed house tonight. And a lot of the skaters decided, you know, after.
And we take a look at some team photos being taken. I have to agree with you, Josh. I think that Steve Early and Mr. Rogers, the second most fun duo in the house tonight, behind us here in the broadcast booth. But we will be getting started here shortly. Quickly, the third race is the 50-lap elimination race. And I don't know if you had a chance to check those out this morning, but that is a sight unlike any other in sport. Tons of racers on the track. Action coming from the back. As you see, Jeff Cooey, president of the RSA, down there talking to the officials and medical staff. So the RSA, of course, a huge part of what U.S. roller speed skating is doing here at the American Championship. So big thank you to him. But back to these elimination races, what do you think about those?
You know, it's all about keeping up. And as long as you can keep yourself with the pack that's in the lead, you still have a shot. But if you start to tail off and fall behind and those whistles start blowing, those referees are getting people out, it's going to be pretty quick. So the key to the elimination races is to keep it with the leaders of the pack. Don't let them ditch it.
So the pre-race festivities wrapping up here. We're going to step aside for a few moments, and we will bring you heat number 1 of the women's division of the Comcast Race of Champions when we come back.
Are they going to warm up still?
Good pregame. welcome back in as our first heat of ladies 300-meter race of champions competitors taking a couple of warm-up laps. There you see the rest of the field. So we'll take a moment and break down all three of these heats for you. Heat number 1, headlined by Jasmine Foster of Fast Forward, Gabriela Cardona Castro of Infinity Racing, Kayla Duke of Team Illini, Anissa Beatty from Bell's Speed Club, and Elizabeth Martinko of Infinity Racing. Josh Ingram, what do you think about this one?
It's going to be competitive. You know, obviously Foster has the capability to pull away right away. She definitely seems like the fastest one in the group. But 3 laps, you know, you never know. One of these girls jumps out in front, can hold on to a lead, make it close. You never know what could happen.
I think you have to agree, Foster, obviously the favorite, but that second qualifying spot to the finals up for grabs. Duke, of course, a Team USA member. I personally am a fan of Elizabeth Martinko. I think the short race leaves room for the wily veteran to make some noise.
I agree, you know, and like we talked about the age difference in some of these skaters, you got the 16, 17, 18-year-olds out there that are going to try to do what they can to compete. But then you got those veterans out there that have been speed skating a long time. They know the ins and outs. They know how to work the track. They know when to pull ahead. They know when to pick and choose their times to make moves. And so stuff like that comes into play.
It certainly does. In Heat 2, Kelsey Hellman, Jalen Godin, Andy Wincoop, Michaela Rennick, and Shannon Degenhardt. Hellman, obviously the favorite in that one of the fastest women on the planet. But I tell you, those next 3 on the list, Godin, Wincoop, and Rennick, they've been impressive.
They've had good meets. They've competed well out here for the American Championships, and you know, this is the time where they could really put themselves on a little map and make some noise, and people in the speed skating community start to really take notice of how quality of skaters they really are.
And heat number 3, the one that's arguably the most wide open, Sierra Golden, the top qualifier in that one, along with Kaylee Repke, Tina Pfeiffer, Ashley Hacker, and Brooke Cianciola. And I don't know, Josh, I guess I'd probably say Kaylee Repke or Golden would be my pick.
That would be I like the way Repke was competing, especially, you know, she was matched up with Hellman in a lot of the individual races throughout the meet, and she was giving her a little run for her money in some of the heats. But, you know, you're looking at some of those 11.4, 11.5 lap times, you know, they're right there as well. So it's going to be very competitive in that 3rd heat.
It certainly is. All 3 heats, the top 2 finishers are going to advance through to our Comcast Race of Champions women's 300-meter final. So the thing about these 300-meter races is they are gone almost before they start. Tremendous speed out there. It takes no time at all to make it 3 laps around the big oval here in the Xfinity Roller Sports Arena.
No, it's a quick race, and if you're going to make a move and you fall yourself behind, you better make a move quickly, because otherwise that pack's just going to start to pull away.
So, Josh, it looks like possibly a change of plans. No, there is Foster. For a second there, I thought maybe they changed the heat numbers up on us, but Foster's out there.
Yep, Duke's out there. Looks like we're getting ready to prepare for heat number 1.
I hope so. You see their meet director, Lisa Dunham, jogging through the shot. So she's got to be excited. This is the culmination of a year's worth of hard work for her.
A lot of stuff goes into the officiating just to get the skaters out here, promotions, a lot of stuff that Lisa Dunham has done to help put this meet on is second to none.
And now here we have 4 of our skaters at the line. Foster, I see Cardona Castro, Duke, as you mentioned, and there is Anissa Beatty as well. Just waiting on Elizabeth Martinko. Hopefully she did not have some sort of issue come up that's going to prevent her from competing here tonight.
Yeah, Chris, I think you're right. I think we got 4 on the line that are ready to go, so Martinko might be a scratch on this one.
Okay, so as things stand right now, no Elizabeth Martinko, so a little bit more room on the starting line. That's got to favor Foster, by far the tallest competitor, needs a little bit of extra room to push off, get those long legs moving quick.
She has such a smooth stride. She likes to have a little space out there, and obviously she tries to get out to an early lead and control the pace of the race. No. It's so good to see you. Good.
Well, Josh, you're an athlete in your past, not a speed skater per se, but with a delay like this right before the start of a major championship, you're all amped up. I mean, what do you do out there if you're these skaters? What's going through their mind here as they sit through this delay?
You know, it looks like they're going to wait for Martinko. Something must have happened. I don't know exactly what the case is. They haven't filled this in yet, but, you know, you kind of got the butterflies. You just want to get into it and get it going, especially when you're coming up on the first race, you know, and you got to accumulate points. You just want to get started.
And now getting our competitors back out onto the line. So we'll see if this is for real going to be the start. Certainly looks that way as they are now on the line, looking pretty ready. There they go, taking their mark. And the Comcast Race of Champions is underway. As expected, it's Foster out in front early. Foster, then Duke, then Castro. Beatty trailing off already after the first lap. Foster opening up a bit of a gap from the beginning, and there goes Castro into the second qualifying spot. It's Foster and Castro to the finals at the bell. 1 lap to go. Duke's gonna have to make a move. Foster in front. Castro making a late charge. Castro into the finals. Gabriela Cardona Castro scooping up a final spot away from Kayla Duke. Josh, what did you see in that one?
You know, Foster obviously jumped out like we expected her to, but wow, Castro was moving, and she kind of made a push late, but Jasmine knew where she was at. She was able to finish strong.
She certainly did. As we take a look at the official times there, 30 seconds, 7:99 for Foster. Castro just about a quarter second off that pace at 31:023. So heat 1 in the books. Foster and Castro through to the finals. Up next, heat 2. Kelsey Hellman, your headliner in this one. The second spot, very much up for grabs. Between Jalen Godin, Andy Wincoop, Michaela Rinnick. Looks like we have another 4-race heat here in heat number 2. Clean start once again, and straight to the front goes Hellman. Hellman tailed by Godin. Wincoop in third. Godin now right on the heels of Kelsey Hellman. It's Hellman and Godin. And Godin trying to get in front. Hellman cuts her off. Nicely done there to the bell. Godin showing no fear from the Team USA member, Jalen Godin. She came here to race, as it is Hellman and Godin advancing through. Josh, Jalen Godin, how about that?
I like it. She came to compete. She was pushing, and she did try in the middle of the lap too. She made a move, and Kelsey Hellman definitely held her off, but you know, she took a stab at it. And I feel like in the Race of Champions, when it's like this and you're battling for some money, you're gonna have to take some risks out there. You really are. You know, if you see a little bit of room that you think you can fit through, give it a shot.
Especially for someone in an underdog position like Jalen Godin. I feel like that was a real statement for her. She's here to get her share of that $10,000. You see the final time, both Hellman and Godin in under 31 seconds.
And you see Godin did have the fastest lap time at a 9.471, where Hellman's fastest time was a 9.486.
So Jalen Godin, outstanding stuff in her qualifying heat. She moves on to the final along with Kelsey Hellman. Now, here it is, our most wide open heat, heat number 3. Sierra Golden, Kaylee Repke, Kenna Pfeiffer, Ashley Hacker, and Brooke Cianciola. To the line we go. And another clean start, so no false starts in these short races. And out in front it's Repke. Repke with a big lead early. Chased by Golden. It's Repke and Golden in the qualifying spots right now. Hacker and Pfeiffer a ways back. So barring disaster, those are going to be your 2 finalists at the bell. It's Kaylee Repke and Sierra Golden running 1-2. They are going to advance to the final. Josh, you talked about how impressed you've been with Kaylee Repke all week long. What did you see from her there?
It came back to the start again. You know, she got off to a great start, held the lead down, and there was a shaky start there going into that first turn right off the bat. There was a couple girls that made a little contact there. Cianciola was definitely one of those that fell towards the very back of the pack, but Repke jumped out to an early lead, held on, and she's been impressive. You see some 9.4 up there. Those lap times are just as fast as anybody else so far. So the women's final could be very interesting.
So our finalists in the women's 300 meter, it's going to be Jasmine Foster, Gabriela Cardona Castro, Kelsey Hellman, Jalen Godin, Sierra Golden, and Kaylee Repke. And while the gentlemen warm up, we'll go ahead and break down these heats for the men for you. Keep it right here inside Xfinity Roller Sports Arena. The Comcast Race of Champions men's 300 meter heat 1. Aiden Saylor, Michael Ruiz, David Meyer, Eddie Wilcox, and Trey Jones.
And you know, in the individual, we saw Trey Jones and Aiden Saylor battle it out. I'm surprised they got matched up in a heat together, so we'll see. We'll see. These gentlemen.
A lot of good stuff from Aiden Saylor. And also in that heat is our favorite youngster, David Meyer. I think he's got a good shot at scooping up that second qualifying spot behind Saylor.
You can definitely feel the intensity level picking up just in the warm-up. You know, during the individual, you'd see some of these guys kind of chatting with each other and just casually getting loosened up and doing their thing. But right now, no smiles. It's all focus. They're definitely going faster just during the warm-up time. These guys are getting themselves ready to go.
They are, and we're getting you ready to go at home as we talk about now heat number 2. Colton Miller, Aaron Geddes, Skylar Alton, Trey Tinsley, and Nick Hoffman. I tell you, someone that probably a lot of folks at home don't know, Nick Hoffman. He's got good speed in the short distance. A bigger guy physically, but he can get off the line with the best of them, and if he gets out in front, who knows, over 3 laps.
He's a tough guy to pass.
And in heat number 3, as our warm-up session winds to a close, we've got the Team USA member Zach Stoppelmore and Jonathan Blair and Justin Stelly. So a bit of a quirk in the qualifying there. All 3 of our Team USA members in the same heat. Somebody is not going to make this final.
That's true. And you know, you got Sonny Wright in there, who is not necessarily a world team member, but at the same time, he was giving some of these guys fits in the individual as well. So don't look past him too much. That's definitely the most competitive heat out of the first 3.
I would say so. And Mason Liebhaber, another youngster, and he's shown good speed, but what he's really shown is a real competitiveness. He makes late moves. He never stops chopping his feet all the way to the line. He is here to do his absolute best, and he's not going to shy away.
He's not, and you're right. He's a smart racer. He stays composed, doesn't hit the panic button. We've seen people have leads on him, and then all of a sudden those leads diminish, and he'll make a move at the end on you. He's a very impressive youngster.
And so we return to the starting line for Heat 1. There's Aiden Saylor, the Wisconsinite, representing Allegro Speed. Michael Ruiz from the other side of the country, coming to you from Austin, Texas, the Texas Speed Club. David Meyer from Team Illini. Eddie Wilcox, someone we have not talked a lot about, and that's probably unfair because he has raced really well all week long. And then Trey Jones, as Josh mentioned, another one of those scrappy youngsters.
Looks like they're ready.
And there's our first fall start. The start's so important. Tough to stay calm and not go with anticipation instead of waiting to hear the buzzer and see the lights.
You can just tell these guys want to jump out to that early lead so bad.
The lead's so important. 3 laps, as we've seen on the women's side, just about half a minute worth of racing. So not a lot of time to make up ground if you don't get what you need. As we see there is Mr. Rogers with the big yellow card of shame. So an upgraded yellow card for our race of champions. Aiden Saylor, you know, he got a false start in the individual age group round, and his strategy, he didn't even make eye contact with the yellow card. He just put his head down, cleared his mind, and got ready to go again. A clean start on the second one. Saylor not scared of the yellow card, out in front early. Saylor tailed closely by Meyer, David Meyer. There's the youngster making himself felt here. Eddie Wilcox right there as well in third. Saylor, Meyer, and Wilcox running 1, 2, 3. 2 spots available. It's going to be Meyer. There goes Wilcox trying to get around. Contact there. Meyer holds him off. This is it, the bell lap. And now there is Eddie Wilcox with the late move. He
one down.
out.
Oh, no.
Oh, and Meyer tripped up by the fall as well.
And then Trey Jones came in.
And it's Ruiz.
No, Ruiz,
Michael
second
Ruiz
place.
coming in to steal the second qualifying position. Disaster on turn 4 for Eddie Wilcox. David Meyer, collateral damage there as Ruiz takes second. Aiden Saylor coming in under half a minute, 29.6. Ruiz, the 30.3. David Meyer, the 30.6. And we'd have to wait for an official ruling, but there is a slight chance that David Meyer will get advanced because of the negative effect on him of that Wilcox crash.
Yep.
But for right now, it is Aiden Saylor, Michael Ruiz to the final.
Those boys were racing hard, though.
Boy,
little
they
contact.
sure were.
Lap 3, you know, there's a little contact there. David Meyer got thrown off the track a little bit, but recovered quickly, and that's when, you know, Ruiz is able to sneak behind him there, and then all of a sudden the last turn, we have a wipeout, and that changed the whole dynamic of the race.
It certainly did. Eddie Wilcox had just gotten himself in a position to advance when disaster struck there on the final turn in the push to the finish. So Heat 2 now getting a little extra time at the starting line. Several conversations between officials happening throughout the building. As you see, there's big Nick Hoffman, the Charles Barkley of speed skating.
Yep. He's got quick feet, though.
He does. He does. And this is a distance where he can be really, really dangerous.
It'd be a chance for him to pick up some points if he could come away with at least a second place.
And you have to think that's very doable. As Colton Miller, he's a youngster, Skylar Alton and Trey Tinsley as well. Aaron Geddes another veteran. So this one, I think, our most wide open heat. Heat 3, of course, has the 3 Team USA members, but they're the 3 favorites. Everyone else is fighting an uphill battle. Here, I don't really feel like there is necessarily that heavy favorite like Saylor was, and like Blair and Stelly and Stoppelmore are in heat number 3.
So this is anyone's race here.
And heat number 2, a clean start. And to the front, it's quickly Miller and Geddes. Hoffman did not get the start that he was looking for, struggling at the back of the field. Colton Miller making a point right now, out in front, tailed by Geddes. Geddes now getting some pressure from Skylar Alton. Alton at the bell. Alton in third. He's got to make a big move to make up ground on Geddes. Running out of space is Alton. Miller to the line. Up easy is Miller and Geddes for the qualification spots. Miller, Geddes, Alton, not quite enough to close the gap on Geddes there in the last lap and a half. Josh, Colton Miller.
Hey, fastest time, we got an 8.7 second lap. Ridiculous. He made that look easy. You know, Colton Miller, I feel like he's gonna be the noisemaker.
That was certainly a very loud heat win. As we head back to the starting line.
And the whole crowd is freaking out about that 8.7 lap time.
You don't see very
There's
many
a
laps,
record.
and don't see many laps under 9, and that is a record here at the American Championships for a 300-meter race. So Colton Miller putting the field on notice there in heat number 2. And here it is, the Team USA heat. Stoppelmore, Blair, Stelly, Sonny Wright, and Mason Liebhaber not to be ignored either.
The youngster had a tough luck of the draw.
He certainly did.
That's a competitive field right there, and then you throw a 16, 17-year-old kid out there who's facing against some of the fastest skaters in the world. You know what? Nobody can take that away from him.
And he's going to have stories for the rest of his career, and you see there, Liebhaber overpowered at the start, and out in front it's Stoppelmore. And those are the 3
contact
Team USA members in front, Stoppelmore and Blair. And there's Stelly now. So Stelly and Blair really getting into it. Stoppelmore out in front of it all. So Stoppelmore for the win. Sonny Wright in there in the mix as well, just like Josh said he would be. But it's going to be Stoppelmore and Stelly to the line. So Jonathan Blair. A lot of contact early on.
It got a little grabby out there. You know, I don't know if the officials, they're all crowding over there in the middle of the rink right now, kind of talking about what might have just transpired. I know somebody did end up cutting a cone, too.
Yeah, we will see if there are any declassifications or penalties handed down, but 2 more sub 9-second laps out of Stoppelmore and Stelly as they take 1-2 and head for the final